everyone, welcome to the Get to Know Me video by Nomzi Zulu, and I hope you truly enjoy this, and I hope that it inspires you to get to know yourself, not just know me, and reflect back on who you are, where you come from, and how you've changed over the years, and how you can fetch back the important parts of yourself that you may think that you've left in the past or forgotten in the past. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so, and please may you encourage me to encourage you to be the best person you can be, so that we can make this beautiful world a better place. So let's get started. Okay, so as I mentioned in my previous video that I was born in a village called Ehlabeni, and there I lived with both my parents, and I have two siblings, my brother who is 8 years older than me and my sister who is 2 years older than me. Okay, so what I want to do is speak about the three most important phases of my life, okay, and the fourth one, which is like the current one. But yeah, beginning of my life, obviously I lived with my parents, and then at the age of 5 I moved and I went and I lived with my aunt who lived in another village called Kwasokela, and I went to a primary school called Donnybrook Primary School from grade R until grade 3. Right, so that was the first phase of my life. And in the second phase, I lived with my parents, and I went to a different primary school, which was called Crichton Primary School, and that was from grade 4. Okay, that was from grade 4 until grade 7. And then that was the second. Then the third phase of my life, I went to boarding school called Pietermaritzburg Girls High boarding school in obviously Pietermaritzburg. And then the fourth phase of my life, which was university at UKZN. Okay, so if I had to get into the first phase of my life, which was when I was living with my aunt and grade R to grade 3, I think those years were my most angriest years of my life. Like, firstly, I had my sister who was like super quiet about everything. Like, my sister was just like, chilling there, quiet, and like, okay, I wouldn't really say that we were being abused, but like, it was just ugly. Like, it was just so ugly. And the reason why I don't want to get into the fact that like we were abused was because like I had to go through it. I had to go through it to be the person that I am today. And I'm super grateful for that, and I'm super grateful that my mom spoke us through everything, like after it happened, and counseled us properly, and yeah, kind of like moved on, in our lives. But yeah, those were my surviving days. Like, just I was living to survive. I was an angry child. I fought a lot. I didn't have goals, like my sister, she knew from like flipping grade 1, like she wanted to be a doctor. Like, I just wanted to survive, and I wanted to get out of that place, and I felt trapped and whatever. So yeah, those were just my angry years. Okay, so moving from the survival phase of my life, and I think also my sister's life, I can definitely say I'm very grateful that I went through that experience with my sister and not alone, because like so often now, like we'll sit down and we'll discuss and reflect back on it, and we can actually say how much we've grown from what we experienced, and how whatever we experienced back then has helped us like in our lives now, and how it's made us become better people. So I'm very grateful, because most people have experienced a lot of pain alone, and they can't actually have that person they can be like, remember we went through this. It's like I went through this alone. So even when you're reflecting on it, you're reflecting on it alone. Like even when you speak into a therapist, for example, they can never actually feel exactly what you felt at that time because they didn't experience it with you. Whereas I did experience it with someone else, and it's so much better. And I'm very, very grateful that my sister and I went through that together. And then going to the second phase of our okay well our my second phase of my childhood or my life, which was being at home with my parents. Oh, okay. So I didn't explain how we actually ended up moving from Donnybrook to living with our parents. My mom actually had a dream when we were end of grade 3, had a dream that she had to take us. Because, like, literally, I'd been making a noise about it, like, complaining and complaining to my parents, like, I don't want to live there. It's not nice. Like, we actually just. And obviously, like, my sister being the older one, like, my sister was dealing with it in a very quiet way. Like, my sister wouldn't back me up. She'd just be like, you know, um, so then they wouldn't really believe me because also I'm a devious child. So it was like, this child is just being devious. And then my mom had a dream that she had to take us back, and she had to, take us to a school nearby. And that's what she did, of which I'm very grateful that she took our lives seriously. And then we went and we lived with our parents. So now we are in the phase 2 of my life. Okay, so now we've moved from like Donnybrook and we are living with our parents. And it was just such a nice experience, to be honest, like in terms of like a relationship between child and parents. Like our dad drove us to school every single morning. Like he took us for ice cream most Fridays, and like these fun adventures. Like we'd go and visit his friends' farms and like do like all these fun activities. And every day when we came back home, like our mom would be there and she'd ask us how's school, how's everything, helped us with homework, like that typical and great life. But obviously, like the the baggage that we'd experienced from that first phase has come into the second phase, and the character that you built from that first phase has come with you. And like now you're experiencing love and kindness and whatever with the same, because everything comes over. Like if you don't deal with everything, like you carry it over to the next phase of your life. But then also, like, we're very lucky, like as I said, we're very lucky that I think like every single month we spoke about like everything that had happened previously. And my mom, like, listened, and it started from crying about it to being okay about it when we talked about it, to just laughing. Like every time my sister and I talk about it now, we just laugh, because we went through the sad phase, healing phase, and just it's okay phase. It's okay that we went through it. But then I think we still also had like quite a lot of challenges when we were living with our parents, because like now, like you sing marriage and what marriage is about. And then also, like, even with that, like our mom helped us, like with me, like I was, oh guys, like when I say I was a devious person, I am a devious person, but just a bit better now, like crazy. My mom helped us like not identify, but separate our relationship with them from their relationship. So we had a relationship with our parents, and our parents had a relationship with each other, and our relationship with our parents had nothing to do with their relationship together. So she basically like taught us how to deal with that and how to separate that. And obviously it still affected us, their relationship still affected us as children, but then she helped us deal with it. And understand that it has nothing to do with us, and we can't fix things that have nothing to do with us. So yeah, that was in a nutshell, that was our second phase. Okay, my second phase. Like literally, I'm here talking for me and my sister, but that was the second phase of our life, and obviously that had an impact in our lives in some way or another, and it has also contributed to the person that we are, the people that we are today, so the person that I am today. And then yeah, so I would say that phase was the phase where we were celebrated as children, and we were loved, and we got a lot of counseling. We got a lot of counseling from our parents, and a lot of wisdom, and then we went to high school. Oh goodness, can I stop saying we? And then I went to high school. High school for me was just a routine, you guys. Like, it was just a routine. Like, I woke up every single day, and I think I did the exact same thing for 5 years. And then the 5 years was over. And then in the 5 years, I think, like, mainly for me, I was just trying to be like my sister, honestly. Like, I thought my sister was the coolest person on earth. Like, absolutely was such a groupie, guys. Like, I was such a groupie. So yeah, like, and then I played sports every single term. Like, first term it was always hockey trials, and then second term it was hockey and netball. I played netball because, like, my family is into netball and all my cousins played netball. And then third term was basketball. My sister taught me how to play basketball. Like, literally, we didn't play basketball in primary school. My sister taught me how to play basketball. My sister is actually the only person that's right-handed that I know that is not a professional player that can do both her left and right hand layups properly. Like, well done, child. So yeah, I'm left-handed, just by the way. So yeah, my sister taught me how to play basketball. And then fourth term, I played indoor hockey. So that's literally like what I did. That's what I did in high school. Like, I just went to school, I did sports. I mean, I did education, whatever you do in school, and then I did sports. But like, I think we go to school for sports. I mean, whatever school is about, but school was sports for me. Yeah. And then yeah, I grew in high school. I became like a little cute chubby girl, and then I was called fat everywhere I went. And then, I mean, I wasn't that big, but like, I was big in my family. I think I was the biggest child then. And then like hockey, you know, and whatever. So I played KZN and all that stuff. And then yeah, like, I went through a lot of insecurities that were like kind of like hidden, and I did a lot of like hectic, weird stuff, like, you know, to make sure that I stuck to that routine of being part of sports, being part of the good teams and whatever. Maybe one day I will talk about it, but like, just not now, because it's also like a whole big story on its own. So then yeah, that was me in high school, just trying to be like my sister. And you know, like, it's funny how like I keep referring to like my story as we, because like my whole life until like when my sister left grade 10, my story was a we story. Like, it was my story and my sister's story. And then like, I got like a huge shock when my sister left, because like, I was just trying to fit in whatever was going on in school. Yeah, then my sister left, and then yeah, I was just going through the most, whatever. And then then I got a boyfriend in grade 11. Like, that's the best boyfriend ever, which we stayed together up until like, we stayed together like for the very longest time. I mean, I really liked him, whatever. So I've always had a person up until this year where I was just like alone, and I was challenged like to figure out exactly who I am. I mean, I still had my sister in Maritzburg, but then because my sister moved to Cape Town and then came back last year, and then I was like lived in Maritzburg, and then she came back obviously last year, and like, I was with her, and I think, well, she was with me, whatever. But like this time around, like when she was around, we got very close, like super close. Like literally, my sister's my best friend, and like I'm still her biggest fan, whatever. But then I think now, like, I'm not trying to be like her. I'm not trying to be her. So that's the difference now. Like, I think when I was young, I was always just trying to be like my sister, because also it was the easiest thing for me to do, because then I didn't have to think about my own self or my future. It was just like, oh my gosh, just try and be like this cool person, and then like sorted. Like, I really love my sister. Like, she's literally the coolest person ever. But like, I'm not trying to be a doctor. Yeah, so that was my high school life, and then I went to varsity, had this nice boyfriend, and I always had someone with me. Like, he was so kind, like, you know, just helping me through everything. But then also I still had to figure out my life. Like, I also couldn't have tried to be like him, because like he's a boy, and you know, like, he's not my sister, whatever. And I think like I was just so messy in varsity. The only thing I loved about varsity is the jobs that I got. Like, I always had a job, like since I left school, like from 19 years old up until now, I always had a job. And within those jobs, I discovered myself. I discovered who I really was, and who I wanted to be, and what really makes me happy, which is literally being around younger people and kids, whatever, and just loving them and coaching and motivating them and whatever. Like, I genuinely love motivating people and encouraging people to be the best people that they can be. So that was varsity. Okay, so basically that is the summary of who Nomzi is. So that is the summary of who Nomzi is. Yeah, so let me just leave it there. I hope that you enjoy getting to know me and knowing, you know, the phases of my life. Yes, guys, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Guys, my nephew here is just doing the most. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please do encourage me to encourage you to be the best person you can be. Thanks, you guys. I'll see you. Come say bye to everybody.
Bye, guys.